everybody, welcome or welcome back to the dig site. Dinosaurs. We all know them, don't we? When we are little kids, at least once we come across the word dinosaurs. Sometimes we see them in picture books, sometimes we see them in movies, such as Jurassic Park. However, some people cannot seem to wrap their head around the idea that dinosaurs once existed. And today, we are going to be watching one of those people who believe that dinosaurs did not exist. So without further ado, let's get started. Almost started the video without my tea. Oh, that would have been silly of me, wouldn't it?
If dinosaurs actually existed, wouldn't their bones be everywhere?
Oh my. Okay, here we go. If dinosaurs existed, then wouldn't their bones be everywhere? Which is, a fair point. If I went to a school and asked people about dinosaurs, then that would be a very God, I can't get this freaking cap off. 1 second. To ask about dinosaurs, probably one of the questions you get would be, why can't we find their bones in our backyards? Which, in some instances, you can find fossils in your backyard. You just need to be like a farmer or something, because usually that's where bones would be found. I know that a titanosaur was found in Australia. In Alberta, I'm pretty sure there was a guy and his son walking down a river, and they discovered some sort of skeleton or fossil of some sorts. I'd have to pull up the article, but it did happen not too long ago too. So you can find dinosaurs, it's just they're not everywhere.
Let's all put our critical thinking skills to the test this morning.
Critical thinking. I always love it when they're like, let's critical think. Let's think outside the box here real quick, guys. Why didn't you critical think before you got your eyebrows done? It looks like they're about to steal Christmas.
So why is it that the average Joe has never dug them up? Why haven't you or I or anyone we know ever found a bone?
Cue it. Just another big bone right there.
Side of a bone.
Because of the forest is actually a part of this. This must have fragments and just that gem look to them. This, however, is probably the best. And I'm as average as you're ever gonna get. We have found fossils. It's not that hard. And the reason why many don't find fossils is because most people are afraid to go out and about and hike up these Badland terrains to actually find something. They're too busy sitting at home, sipping their tea, and, watching people on TikTok. It doesn't seem to ring a bell, though. I wouldn't know anybody who's doing that. Here, actually, in fact, let me dumb it down for you. All right, class, this will be on your next test for a 5-page essay. Following along on the board does help. Raise your hands if you have any questions. If not, don't speak while I'm teaching. You live here in this city. Fossils are discovered here. They're found in the Badlands. You can find the Badlands in places such as Montana or Alberta. If you spend your entire life going to Starbucks and sitting in your car making TikToks, chances are you're not going to find any fossils. However, if you take your car and drive somewhere, such as the Badlands, chances are, if you know where to look, you're gonna find fossils.
And another thing, bones can completely decay within 20 years. These people are finding fossils that are intact from 76 million years ago. So
let's break this down. She just said that bones decay within 20 years, which, yes, that is completely true. If an animal were to die and its bones were just laid out on like a grass field for 20 years, yes, the bones would completely decay. Some dinosaurs, when they died, would quickly be buried by things like mud and sediment and all this stuff, and would eventually be compacted and layered into the ground, and it would be entrapped in there for millions and millions of years. And while those bones are continuously being pressed into the ground and covered with all these other layers of rock, there's minerals that go into the bone and start to fossilize it into basically a rock. Another thing that she mentions is that we find fossils that are intact. Now, yes, sometimes we do find fossils that are completely intact. However, other cases we find fossils that are completely shattered and broken and fragmented. Then, for some reason, she follows that up with from 76 million years ago. Ow, God, I just poked myself in the eye. Jeez. I mean, if 76 million years is skeptical to her, just wait until I say that we found things before 76 million years ago. In the grand scheme of things, humans have not been on this earth for very long. Let's be honest. For example, this would be basically a chart or just a very, very basic understanding of how long humans have been on earth for. That right there is our entire history. Right there, that little sliver. Next, we'll go into the Cenozoic. Again, this is very basic, like there's actual charts that have a much better understanding of this and an actual one. If I could probably throw it up on the screen here, but this is more fun. So, our time, Cenozoic. Next would be Mesozoic. This would be Mesozoic. So we have our little time, Cenozoic, Mesozoic, and then would be the Paleozoic. All the way until the beginning of the Earth, or the beginning of life, I should say. We have found so many things from so long ago. Stuff in the Paleozoic era that lived like Dunkleosteus, or, what else? Dimextrodon, Meganeura, the big spider thingy. You get the point. There's a lot of things that lived like 400 million years ago. So 76 million years ago isn't that much.
I honestly believe they put these creatures in front of us and made us believe it because of this.
Oh no. Oh God. I have such a bad feeling about this. She just said the words, I have a feeling that they put these creatures in front of us.
That is one big pile of shit.
Oh my God, is this really a conspiracy theory about giants? That's what this has been leading towards? Dinosaurs are pretty giant. I mean, have you seen Titanosaurus? Have you seen Argentinosaurus? Have you seen Diplodocus, Brachiosaurus? Like, have you seen these sauropods? They're giants. I'm contesting my evidence against yours. And right now, you've given me absolutely zero evidence pointing towards, oh, well, bones decay within 20 years. Okay, why didn't you follow up with that? You could have gone into research and been like, oh, yeah, they decay within 20 years. However, under the right conditions, they actually fossilize, and that's why they're able to be preserved for 75 plus million years. Oh yeah, why hasn't anybody found bones? Well, if you got out of your sedan once in a while and actually went for a hike up in the Badlands, you might be able to find something.
After all of our fallen ancestors have always talked about the Nephilim. The fallen angels. Yeah, big giants.
Giants and conspiracies and stuff, that's not my field. It's just completely baffling on how we go from dinosaurs never existed to, well, because they didn't exist, it's because the government's been trying to sway us from the truth, and the Smithsonian is hiding giant remains or something, and they're covering it up. They're all covering it up. Put your tinfoil hats on, people. They're covering it up.
And if the meteor thing truly happened, if something of that magnitude was to hit Earth, it'd be something like 10,000 nuclear bombs going off.
If a meteor that size hit the Earth, it'd be like 10,000 nukes going off. Yes, it was like that. What are you trying to prove with that statement? Of course it was like 10,000 nukes going off. It impacted the Earth and left a giant crater and created a chain reaction with a bunch of tsunamis hitting the coasts, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes. Yes! It was like 10,000 nukes going off. That's why they're all dead. It was a cataclysmic, like, chain reaction that made everything go extinct. And why are you trying to use that as if it's like, oh, well, if the meteor hit, then that wouldn't be possible because that'd be like 10,000 nukes going off.
It's easy to connect the dots once your eyes are open.
You know, I always love watching conspiracy videos because some of them can actually be interesting to follow along, and you actually get to contest evidence with that person and see, you know, who lines up. Oh, brother.
It's just another thing they made up to keep us from the truth.
They, guys. Who's they, by the way? Why didn't you clarify on who they is? The mailman? Is the mailman keeping me away from this? Is Bob down the street keeping me? Who's they keeping us from the truth? Why? Okay, riddle me this. Why would any sane government go out of its way to mass produce a bunch of bones? I don't know how to draw a bone. Oh god, that's pretty bad. To mass produce a bunch of fossils and bones to then go out into the desert and dig a giant hole to place said bones into. By the way, the government needs to dig these holes like hundreds of meters deep, or not meters, but feet, whatever, you get the point. Only to then pour all that sand and stuff back into the ground, covering the bones that they just made, leave it to sit there for God knows how long, and then hire a bunch of actors that play paleontologists to then go back to that same site and then dig it up, and find the bone that's under there. Where's the sense in that? Also, who would have the time to come up with that elaborate plan? That would make no sense. What do you, like, people just have board meetings every single weekend and are like, okay guys, let's make up a new dinosaur to throw in the ground. What should we name it?
Truth is, giants existed.
You know what? You're dang right they existed. Again, by all means, say what you want on the internet. As long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't care. However, if you're gonna say something as bold and absurd as a dinosaur cover-up for giants or whatever, you better get some. You better believe you might get some backlash, and some people might be commenting or doing videos such as this, contesting your opinion or your thoughts. So yes, credit to my girlfriend for finding me this video. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I can find more videos such as this to review, because again, this was very fun. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.